Welcome back to Mountain Connections. Right now, we are joined by South Summit School District Superintendent, Dr. Shad Sorenson, as well as the principal of Silver Summit Academy, Jeff Greiner. We're thankful they're both here today joining us Zoom, and we're going to start with Dr. Sorenson. Tell me more about how things are going with South Summit School District.
Good morning. Every day is an adventure, and our first and foremost focus is on keeping our students and our staff safe and engaged in the learning process. We've gone through a series of plans in preparation for how to deal with situations that we're going to encounter, and we are now in the process of dealing with some of those in relation to the coronavirus. We feel very well with the protocols that we have in place of being able to correctly do contact tracing, to be able to notify parents and the students when they have been exposed so that they can do the proper quarantining. We've been very fortunate in our district to have minimal cases, but as I mentioned, we have a plan in place and we follow those protocols, and we are moving forward. First and foremost, we're focused on learning, and we want our students to be able to feel comfortable so that they can focus on learning. And I feel very pleased with the direction that we are headed.
I'm impressed to see both of you modeling good behavior for your students. You're sitting 6 feet apart. You're both wearing masks. Dr. Sorenson, how is your staff, your student body doing with these new procedures?
You know, it is difficult. They're doing extremely well, and I am so proud. They are amazing. But it is difficult to teach. As you can tell just in our conversation here, your voice is a little bit muffled by a mask. And more concerning, I think, to our faculty are the fact that they're not able to see all the facial reactions of our students and to be able to get that full connection with their students. But they recognize the importance of being safe, and so they're doing their very best. We do have protective gear in place so that in situations where we have to remove the mask to be able to see the lips and things of that nature, we have gear in place to be able to our students and to be able to help them to continue learning.
And Silver Summit Academy is a school within South Summit School District. And Jeff, your academy has always had a different model. You've done a combination of in-school and remote learning even before this pandemic. So how are things going for this school year, and what has changed?
Well, I think our model turned to be a big advantage for ourselves and for our students, because a lot of the ground that was unfamiliar in more traditional schools was familiar to us. My teachers were able to transition when we went into the full closure last spring. The teachers were able to transition relatively easily, bringing their classes that were being taught in person, face to face, into more of an online model. Because we had guidelines and existing classes that were more focused online. We had the advantage of being a smaller building, and being in a smaller space with fewer students made it easier for us to follow some of the CDC guidelines. And we pride ourselves in being problem solvers. That's part of the philosophy of our education here. Education is solving problems, learning new ways. And so as a faculty, we approach this as just another problem to solve, an opportunity to model ourselves as problem solvers. And it gave us a chance to practice what we preach, I suppose.
Would you say it's been less of a transition then for your staff and students as everything changed back in March, and then of course as things continue to change heading into the school year?
Yeah, I do. I think our teachers had a tremendous advantage, and I'm exceedingly sympathetic to the teachers in the district that are in a more traditional high school, as I'm sympathetic to all of the schools that didn't have the head start that we had. We were able to start thinking about problems. We're probably a month or two, probably 2 months ahead in as far as problem solving, because we had that fundamental foundation already in place.
And Dr. Sorenson, I'm curious, with South Summit School District, how is the case count, quarantining numbers? Without getting into too much specifics, if you don't want to, I'm curious about how things are looking with your students in regards to COVID-19 right now.
Sure, we have had 3 active positive cases. 2 are currently active. And then we have the students that are associated with those quarantines, and that is in double-digit numbers. I'm excited to announce, and we'll be sending this to our public, that the state has released a metric that people can go to and see those daily counts. And so rather than keeping a scoreboard, so to speak, on our district website, we will be referring people to that state site where you can look at numbers on a district level.
And Jeff, I'm curious, how has your communication changed within your school with parents? I know you're very concerned, as everyone is, with students and reducing the spread of COVID-19, but because of your unique model, is that a little bit of a secondary concern because you already have these procedures in place?
Yeah, we've always prided ourselves on being exceedingly communicative with our parents. In fact, sometimes I think we might even go too far, but in a situation like this, I don't think we can provide, there's no limit or there's no too much information. So we had those lines of communication in place. Usually contact twice a week with every single parent. And so we were able to do, when we send out email blasts and messages, we feel pretty comfortable that we're reaching our community, and that our community is taking the time to digest that those things that we're telling them. So again, we just happen to be in a good position where we had things in place due to our model that we had never foreseen this.
And Dr. Sorenson, back years ago when you decided to adopt Silver Summit Academy into South Summit School District, I'm sure you had no idea how things would change with current events, but you must be very grateful to have this unique school and this model within your district right now.
So fortuitous, and we didn't even know it. It has been so interesting because over the summer and even now our principals meet weekly, and it's been so helpful for the principals in those traditional schools to ask Jeff and Mrs. Willoughby, who's been doing blended learning since the concept of their school, how they do this and how they handle those situations. And so to be able to have that example and that support has been very, very helpful. And we're just happy to be able to have the array and the combination of educational choices for our students. And so it has worked out extremely well, not pre and post virus.
And Jeff, for our viewers who are not familiar with Silver Summit Academy, how big is your student body? Are you constantly able to accept new students? How is the admission process? How does that all work?
Right now, we're around 110 students. We've kind of frozen our admissions at this point due to the virus and due to the space concerns in our building. So we have a waiting list. Students are interested students are invited to put their names on our existing waiting list. It's at our website, ssa.education, and they can then we can contact them when space would become available. But in the current situation, we are frozen where we are right now as we continue to work to manage the community as safely as possible.
And of course, Jeff, if you want more information, just head to the South Summit School District website to find out all about Silver Summit Academy.
Absolutely, yeah, we're there and we're listed in all of the other district schools as well.
And Dr. Sorenson, I'm going to give you the last word. Anything else that you'd like us to know about South Summit School District, or how can we help as a community give our backing behind your district?
I want to express my appreciation for our community. On the east side and on the west side here, we are very fortunate. The resources that we've been given from private donations and from our municipalities has been extremely helpful, that we've been able to purchase the protective gear that our faculty and staff have needed to feel safe and our students. And so I just feel very fortunate for that support. We are extremely committed to the safety and protection, and we will always put that first and foremost, but we do not want to see time wasted, and these students need to be prepared for careers in college, and we're doing everything that we can to maximize the time and the learning programs that we have so that we achieve our vision of preparing them for success.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Shad Sorenson, Superintendent of South Summit School District, and Jeff Greiner from Silver Summit Academy. He's the principal there, for joining us today during a very busy, hectic, chaotic school year. We very much appreciate your dedication to your students right here in Summit County. We'll be back with more on this Parenting and Education Day right after this.